Well, let's return to the story that we were bringing you a short while ago about womb transplants and the first successful womb transplant here in the UK that's led to a birth. Joining us now is Charlie Bishop. She works for a charity that connects people with a womb syndrome known as MRKH. This is the disorder that leads to the absence of some female reproductive organs. Charlie, very good to talk to you today. MRKH, you were diagnosed with it at 17. Just tell us a little bit about it. What it meant to get that diagnosis. It must have been pretty tough.
Yes, thank you and good afternoon. Yes, I was diagnosed at 17 with MRKH, which is Mayer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser syndrome. And as you have explained, it is a complex condition that leads to the absence or underdevelopment of different parts of the reproductive system, which includes the uterus, the cervix, and also the vagina as well. So being told this at 17 is rather surprising, to say the least. It's not something that I ever expected to hear. And of course, it then means that as a young person diagnosed with this condition, you're faced with topics or thoughts of the future, perhaps a lot earlier than you would normally think about these kind of topics, because of course it raises those issues to your mind, to the forefront of your mind, and really the mental health side and the impact of that is not to be underestimated. It has a significant impact, and the lack of preparation through sexual education, I think, for conditions outside of the norm, I think, make this even more of a taboo topic to talk about. And obviously lots of these topics around women's health and sexual health in general tend to be very underrepresented in terms of these kind of open discussions and open topics about these kind of conditions.
And 8 years ago, when you were told this, has much changed since then? I mean, we heard this news today, this glorious story about a sister giving her womb to a younger sister and it leading to the birth of a beautiful baby. First time in the UK. Does that give hope for women with a condition, or is this something that's actually only going to be available to a very tiny number of them?
It's a very good question. Actually, I was diagnosed quite a long time ago for me. I'm 41 now, so it's quite some time ago. And a lot has changed, but also a lot hasn't changed in that time. I think we have made some progressions in terms of how the medical professionals approach diagnosis and help those with MRKH understand what this means, and also, of course, peer support in particular has grown exponentially because of social media within this time, which of course wasn't the same when I was diagnosed back in 2001. But in terms of the uterus transplant program, I think this is really a scientific leap forward, and we see the value of this from other programs that have happened in, say, the US and Australia, where there have been other successful births of babies through their uterus transplant programs. And I think what makes it even more special in the UK is that it's now happening for the UK community, and therefore an opportunity for some. But as you rightly say, this will likely not be available to everyone. It is not expected, to our knowledge, to be available kind of freely upon the NHS, and therefore it may be challenging to pursue this as a path to parenthood. But at the same time, it is, there's a level of overwhelm for many, excitement and hope, absolutely, because I think this is definitely a scientific advancement that many of us didn't anticipate we would ever get to this point. And so for those within our community who are very keen to pursue a future with children, this is now another route that perhaps may be open to them in the future, and depending on what that looks like. But for others, of course, it's bittersweet. It perhaps came too late for them to be able to have this as a potential option they would have considered. So I think there's a mix of emotions today after this news, because I think there's a general joy for this fantastic news for Grace and Angus and of course baby Amy. But also there is also it's triggering seeing this news for many in our community, and so I think that hope is also mixed with a little bit of sadness today. But certainly the science is a great leap forward.
Charlie, lovely to talk to you, and I can understand that bittersweet feeling. Thank you very much. Charlie Bishop joining us there to talk about womb transplant. You're watching